Yo, what's going up, guys? It's Impri from Impri Gaming, and today, I'm pretty sure I said we're doing chapter 2 of the Goosebumps Creature Teacher. So basically what I'm going to do here, guys, is just let this play in the background. I'm just going to let it run, so you can see the city, just how they normally interact. But, anyhow, let's get into it. The Caring Academy. I read the name of the tall iron gate as we drove through. I wonder what type of football team, what the football team is called. Probably the Caring Goodies or the Caring Cuties. I know that was lame, but I laughed at my own joke. I was nervous. I was bouncing in the back seat like a baby. I wouldn't sit still. This is a serious academic school, Mum said. There is no football team, Paul. The school really did look like Dracula's castle. It even had 2 tall grey stone towers at each end. If you're that bad, we'll lock you up in the tower, I cried, in a scary movie voice. Now let's try it again. If you're that bad, I'll lock you up in the tower. Seems a bit bad. Right. My parents ignored me. The sky stretched heavy and grey. A few large raindrops splattered on the window screen of our van. The narrow road led us to a dark courtyard. Lightning crackled over the dark tower. It really reminded me of an old horror movie. Why did they build the school up here? This hill, I demanded. It's miles from the nearest town. Maybe they like the view, Dad replied in his idea of a joke. They probably want their privacy, Mum said. A few minutes later, we were inside the old school. To my surprise, it was bright and cheery. The walls were warm yellow, covered with colourful plaster. Each door of the long hallway had been painted a different colour. A big, broad-shouldered man with bristly grey hair and thick, black-framed glasses hurried through the corridor in the hallway, introducing himself. Hi, I'm Mr. Klein, the dean of the school, he bombed. Let me help you with those bags. Under his woolly white sweater, he had buckled biceps and an enormous chest. He looked like a middle-aged Clark Kent. He picked up my heavy trunk in one hand and led us to my room. The dormitories are in this wing, he explained. The classrooms are in the other end. And his deep voice echoed through the long hall. He leaned in close to me. The torture chamber is downstairs, he whispered. I stared at him. He threw back his head and laughed. Be careful, Paul, he warned. Your fellow students are also smart and sharp. They love playing tricks on new kids. As we made our way down the hallway, I checked out the other kids. They all appeared perfectly normal. A lot of baggy jeans and cadgers. I don't know what that is, guys. KHAKIS. T-shirts, sweaters, unbuttoned waistcoats. Tommy Hilfiger, and the Gap no different from the kids from my old school. What did you expect, Paul? I asked myself. Everyone's walking around in Beethoven shirts, reading the encyclopedia as they walked through the halls. We turned into another long hallway. Mum and Dad followed me behind Mr. Klein and me, carrying my stuff. We passed an office marked Caring Academy Headmistress. You'll meet her later, Mr. Klein said. Students scurried out of his way. He carried my huge trunk as if it was a lunchbox. As we approached a short, squat, weird-looking kid in the doorway, he had a round, pale face, thick black glasses, and straight, slick black hair in the middle, parted in the middle. As he reminded me of a mole, one of the lumpy pink animals that lives in the underground. What are you doing here, Marv? Mr. Klein said, snapping at him. Before the boy could answer, Mr. Klein gave him a push. Get going now, you know you don't belong here, the boy mumbled something underneath his breath. He slumped away. He had a funny, shuffling walk. He looked like a bowling ball on legs. Mr. Klein watched the boy until he vanished around the corner, then walked again, taking long strides. What is your special interest, Paul? Huh? Special interest? I hurried to keep up with him. Special study interest, he said. What areas of study? Lunch, I joked. I glimpsed the mum and dad scowling and shaking their heads unhappily. Paul hasn't really discovered his passion, Mum told Mr. Klein. My passion? Yuck. I wanted to throw up. Mr. Klein nodded. We have a very talented student body here, Paul, he said. Wonderful kids, wonderful. My only complaint about them is that they study too hard. Oh, great, I thought, sarcastically. Just my kind of place. Am I doomed, or am I doomed? Here is your room, Mr. Klein announced, pushing open a blue door. We stepped into the small, bright room with 2 beds, 2 dressers, table, 2 desks, and 2 small red sofas. You'll be sharing your room with a nice boy named Brad Carpenter. I think I've got Brad, actually. Have I got Brad? I thought I had Brad. Nope. Can I unlock Brad? Alright. Doesn't look like it. Mr. Klein announced. He dropped the trunk on the bed against the far wall. Brad is practicing his violin now. He'll be up when he's finished. A lovely room, Mum commented, walking around. And you have a roommate, Paul. Isn't that lucky? Do you play an instrument? Mr. Klein asked. I shook my head. I tried playing a harmonica once, but I swallowed it. Mr. Klein laughed. My first laugh of the day. Unfortunately, this time I wasn't joking. Outside the narrow window, lightning flickered and bombed. A bomb of thunder shook the room. Mum and Dad started to unpack my things. Mr. Klein studied me through his thick black framed glasses. It's hard starting a new school in November, he said, but you'll catch up. Work hard and you'll catch up. Paul plans to work very hard, my dad said. Eyeing me sternly. I have to get to the front office now. Mr. Klein said, checking his watch. He shook hands with Mum and Dad. A pleasure to meet you. He turned back to the door to me at the doorway. I'll send a couple of classmates to show you your classroom. Good luck, Paul. He vanishes out the door. Thunder shook the room again. The lights flickered, but thank God the next half an hour flew by. We unpacked my stuff. We hugged. We said goodbye. We hugged again, and Mum and Dad were gone, and I was left in the dark castle on top of the hill, trapped in a school of overachieving violin players who studied too hard. I suddenly thought about Harold, my poor parrot, all alone at home with no one to teach him new funny things to say. Don't do your homework, teacher is a jerk. I did my best, Harold, in intimidation. It sounded just like him. I heard giggling, sprouting, spun around, and saw two girls in the doorway. I was doing a parrot, I explained. I feel my face turning red hot. I knew I was blushing. I'm Celestial Majors, one of them said. She was short, with piles of curly hair, blonde hair, and lots of freckles. Her green eyes sparkled behind round, wide, rimmed glasses. Celestial was a purple turtleneck, sweater, purple jeans, and purple Doc Martens. The other girl introduced herself as Molly Bugby. She was tall, with a very thin, very long, straight black hair, and black frigid, and a black framed that fell down to her eyes. Molly wore jeans too, black, with a hole in each knee, and a red sweatshirt under the black leather waistcoat. Three small silver hooped earrings dangled from each ear. Mr. Klein asked us to show you to your classroom, Molly said. Are you ready? I nodded. I suppose so. I started from the door, but to my surprise the girls hurried into the room and slammed the door behind them. Celestial glanced tensely behind her. She turned to Molly. Did anyone see us? I don't think so, Molly replied. Listen, Paul. Her eyes locked onto mine. You've got to hurry, she said in a whisper. Huh? Hurry? I gasped at the two of them. Why did they look so frightened? Listen to us, whispered Celestial whispered, glancing back at the door. Get out of here. What? I started. Don't ask questions, Molly insisted through clenched her teeth. Her chin trembled. Just get away from the school, Paul. Hurry while you still can. Chapter 2 ended. That's still an amazing chapter, no matter what, guys. As you saw, I still try to play this game in the background, so there's some things to do. But anyhow, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the little story time today. Should I call this story time in Impri's Corner? Nah, that sounds like I'm knocking off Winnie the Pooh. How much money? Wow, I just got a lot of cash. I don't get. Where do I get pocket watches from? So next time, guys, I'm gonna be doing chapter 3. Hopefully we can get through this book. I'm really intrigued to find out what's next. No, I need to make sure there's always a gap. That's adorable. A cute ghost dog. So yeah, basically, as I was saying, guys, I'm gonna try and find as much as I can, read this book, then try and get a new book to read, and hopefully, guys, we can get through that book as well. And until then, guys, watch out for the goosebumps. Don't remember, she's not gonna give you bad marks. She's not gonna give you detention. She's going to eat you. Bye, guys.